Okay, and we're live. I'm not gonna play an intro for this. I'm with
Okay.
Bodes and with Connor. Guys, how you doing?
I'm doing fine this evening. How are you guys?
Absolutely fantastic. I'll be doing better if Florida State wins this game, though.
It's not gonna happen.
Who are they playing against?
We're playing Louisville, but Florida State's Heisman quarterback is injured, and Florida State's backup quarterback is injured. So the quarterback is an 18-year-old who's never played college football before.
Okay.
Yeah, wishing you guys best of luck.
If he wins, Florida State goes to the playoffs, which is absurd because without Travis, they don't deserve it at all.
Well, I'm cheering for him now. I'm a big fan of people who don't deserve it.
Exactly.
Big underdog story right here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of underdogs, about this movie, gentlemen.
Yeah, it was okay, so the first when you guys saw the trailers or heard they were making this movie, what were your first impressions?
I deliberately didn't see any trailers or even looked. I saw people retweeting it or quote tweeting it. Skipped those tweets. Like saw it was a movie. Like scrolled through. So I knew nothing about this movie except the name, and from the name, I knew the entire plot. So there's that.
True.
I'm not joking, by the way.
I was incredibly excited because I am an 85-year-old conservative in my heart. And this was everything I wanted when I saw the trailer.
Connor's the guy who says that who retweets all his Facebook ants memes.
Exactly.
Yeah, because this movie really is a series of Facebook memes made into sketches.
Yes.
That's what this movie is at its heart.
Like, it felt like a 2005 Will Ferrell movie. Like it would have been like this movie would be a double feature with Step Brothers on DVD.
But less
you know,
funny.
but that's funny. Exactly, it would have been the
Step
lesser one.
Brothers. I remember laughing my ass off at Step Brothers when I was like 12 or whatever.
That's a great movie.
The problem was it was a 2005 Will Ferrell movie or like a 2005 Rob Schneider movie written by Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I found I mean, the movie's not terrible. It's not great by any means. You know, like it's mediocre. I will probably watch it again with my dad because I know my dad will fucking love it. He would laugh at every joke. He'll say it's the best movie he's ever seen. It's I mean, there's a movie in. I feel like there's a movie in here that actually could have been good. You know, like I actually saw it, the dad who's dealing with his daughter, his whole the Jeremy Bowen's characters, you know, picking up his daughter, the hippie stepdad, he's an ally, all the liberal stuff he was learning. I thought there was actually a movie that could be told there that would have been interesting. But it kind of just goes down the whole comedy route of, you know, dudes pretend to be chicks, which is admittedly kind of funny.
It's also, I know Michael Knowles pretended to be an actor before he got into all this, but the reality is, even what they wrote was a pretty good movie. Like you said, you'll watch it again. I'll definitely watch it again. I'm going to criticize it a lot on this stream, but I will 100% watch it at least 2 more times.
Wow. Okay.
But the problem was that it was basically like it wasn't actors putting it together. So like even if it had been done perfectly in other regards, like it was like if Thomist Reviews did a movie. Like this is not what you do.
This is
so it's like
that's
as good as it could have been.
Something else I felt like this is like a student movie.
That's what Grant said.
Like that.
Dude, Grant said the same thing. I was talking to him about it, and he said it felt like a student movie.
That's really
does. What it felt like.
It absolutely does. And one of the other problems is that one of the few characters with something resembling a character or a personality is the coach. Everyone else is kind of defined by quirks, and that's it. Like they don't have a character that's, you know, a personality and that then plays off other personalities to make the jokes. It's their quirks which then play off other quirks.
Yeah, and even really the coach, his personality is literally just Daily Wire conservative.
Yeah,
there isn't really that much of a character to the one character that has a character.
Yeah, they're really. Yeah. I thought they were gonna go for, like, they kind of try to pay off at the beginning, where, you know, it's all about winning, and then he loses the final game with the little girls, which is already an insane idea, but whatever. I did kind of giggle, not giggle, but like smile at like 427 to 6. or whatever the score was.
I said to you guys before this started that I took a note every time I laughed. I know exactly what the score was because it's on my list. It was 418-6. I was cackling when Michael Knowles said, though in the end, the little girls did lose to the cowgirls by 418-6.
Yeah, that was actually okay. That was a decent reveal. So I thought they were going for something there, but it's not like fleshed out at all. I was almost like, is this guy like, are they gonna do a critique of BAP or Nietzscheanism of like might makes right? You know, winners win, losers lose. It's like no, it's just like he likes winning.
I do like the catchphrase though. Winners are just losers who win.
Yeah, that was decent.
Unironically in my life.
Winners are just losers who win. Yeah.
Get down a flag and put it in the parliament.
When they get really retarded, their jokes work. When they get like really retarded and stupid, they get fun.
The other thing I loved about the 418-6 joke is that they showed the little girls getting more than 6 points on camera.
I didn't even notice that yet. That's true.
Wow.
To be fair, they were like lifted up by the other team. I'm not sure that counts.
I don't care how it happened. They showed more than 6 points, and then it cuts to Michael Knowles in a headdress or whatever. And he's like a 418-6.
Michael Knowles might have been the funniest part of the movie. I found the scene where he's interviewing him. They do the walkout, and it's like, "Hey man, don't push me off my land."
That was hilarious. And then his counterpart Brett Cooper, when she said Stacey Santiago O'Brien is his name, I lost it.
I didn't laugh at her. I laughed at his reaction where he just stares deadpan into the camera. There's a half second of silence. It says right. That was good.
I liked when Brett Cooper and Michael Knowles were like going back and forth. Like Brett Cooper was complaining about like him getting all the airtime, and Michael Knowles just looks at her and just goes, "You're so white."
It may seem like the movie was really enjoyable and good, but I swear, people, for the most part, I was bored to death. I swear.
If you could
find over the highlights,
if you could find the good scenes like on a TikTok video or some YouTube compilation, that's worth watching. The movie itself, not really
shocking. The journalist was just some TikTok chick. Like I was trying to figure out who that actress was. She's just some TikToker they picked up.
Okay, I'm gonna make a weird guess that Sammy Bowen really likes that TikToker.
Oh, that's
no! Oh, wow! Yeah, go down the limb here, Caleb.
Jeremy Bourne's relationship with her kind of pissed me off.
It was weird.
And if you're going to be, here's the thing: I'm not gonna be like a standard. Like if there's sex in a movie, the movie is bad.
Yeah.
But like if you're going to be that over the top right wing Christian family values, like you're gonna be so in your face about it. And then it's still like the chief motivation for half the male characters is one night stands. I was like, if you're going to be this on the nose, be even more on the nose.
Yeah, just fuck it. Oh,
and then he tried to save it where he was like, we didn't have sex. I'm like, whatever. She still burned your neck on a furnace. You didn't have a nice family.
It might have been worse than fornicating. That may be a worse sin somehow. I'm not sure how. But it seems to me when you get to St. Peter, he's going to fucking call you out on that one.
It's like the old Dostoevsky quote where it's like you sold yourself out for nothing. Yeah. It's like what?
Yep. Yeah, it's exactly like that. I actually didn't like the journalist character because she's too self-aware that she's a piece of shit. It's that's not how journalists are, dog.
Although her one line early in the movie, I can't remember what it was, but she was like, where she was really self-aware about how awful she is as a journalist.
At the bar?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I know what scene you're talking about. I don't know the line, but I know the scene.
Where she said something like, "Oh, I know I'm awful. I'm a journalist. Didn't you already know that?"
Yeah, there's like, I don't know, man. It's like you should just you really should have just made her like, instead of like the sexy journalist, make her like incredibly ugly and hideous, and every journalist in the movie put them in like awful makeup and they look like disgusting. Just do that.
The one thing I couldn't stand about her was the way they would use her to prove like trans bad, family values good. And she'd just like rattle off like 18 statistics. I was like, this is awful. Like, at the very beginning, it was like, I know, or men are stronger in this way and that way and this way and that way. And I was like, shut up. We all get it. And then when she talked about divorce, she was like 18% more likely to end up on drugs, 15% more likely to end up in prison. I was like, shut up.
Dude,
The facts don't care about your feelings. Okay, that was well written.
Mel Ben Shapiro writing that when I watched
I
that.
could too. I mean, like, it was so bad. And like, honestly, it made me pro-divorce and pro-trannies. Like, just because I wanted to disagree with the list of statistics she gave.
Yeah, it was kind of infuriating. It's like, dude, just say like divorce harms kids if you really want to. You don't need to bring up statistics.
Well,
just say, we know. Just say we know that this and this and that. That's it.
You can have a statistic. You don't need like a minute of screen time where she's just rattling off statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Also, no woman in the world knows that many statistics.
There's also that. Yeah, the reporter character has several problems with her. She's too overt, unself-aware, or it's too self-aware. I mean, she by the end, I think the most what the fuck scene in the movie is like the sniper scene, sniper gag, which is like what the because there's a few scenes like that where the tone is like, I don't know, it gets way too Meet the Spartans.
It gets. I mean, they
about 2000s, like I don't know the word in English. In Portuguese we call them besteirões, where it's like nonsense sketches.
I need something better than that.
Yeah, no, it's like nonsense. Like Meet the Spartans from like 2000 and something.
Yeah,
that kind of movie where it's like a bunch of nonsense. There isn't really a grounding tone. Every scene is kind of a sketch into itself with a very thin through line. And like there's like 3 or 4 scenes, like the mascot and that guy in the woods basement. And the sniper scene, those are like these belong to a different movie with a different, like even more silly tone than this.
Yeah,
I will say the mascot scene was arguably my favorite scene in the movie because it builds up to it. Like at first, you just see him with a bunch of dead mascots in his house, or not mascots, badgers.
Badgers. Yeah.
He's like, how many badgers have you killed? And he looks at the camera and says, all but one.
All but one was a good line. I will say that.
And then it reveals that he's got the badger in his bed. I loved that.
I thought it was too silly. Like, there's no, because there wasn't I was trying to figure out this guy's character at this point. It's like, oh, okay, he's kind of a hunter. He's kind of psychotic, obsessive, and then this never appears again throughout the rest of the movie, except for like a brief callback for a joke where someone puts on the tiger costume and starts humping the air.
I will say every time that guy was on scene, what was his character's name? I can't remember.
His nickname was the Tower because he's the tallest one, but I don't remember his character's
whoever he was, every time he was on scene, if either of you are familiar with the Mises Institute, I kept calling him Per Bieland.
Holy shit! It really holy shit, dog. It really
looks just like him.
It looks exactly like him.
I tweeted this morning, winners are just losers who win. And he definitely has been searching that. He liked that tweet.
Yeah, someone told him he looked like that guy from the movie.
No, not Pear Island. The actual actor.
Oh, the actual actor?
The actual actor liked me tweeting, winners are just losers who win.
The movie...
Oh, man.
The movie
got Pear from this movie.
It felt like the writers were just a bunch of boomers who picked out like 5 of their favorite movies and then tried to make them all into one.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It feels very disjointed. Like for several, you need to focus down if you really want to make
pick comedies they like they won't make comedies like this anymore. It's like you don't get the tone was for the times. You can't make a 90s action film in today because it wouldn't work. And the same way you can't make 05 comedies today because they won't work.
I will also say, like, I think you could make a 2005 comedy today, and a bunch of people would love it. The problem is they can't.
Yeah, they didn't. It wasn't enough.
I think if you wanted to make an 05 movie today, you'd have to be like out front with it. This is the tone we're going for. Yeah. You couldn't sneak in an 05. I mean, you have to be like, this is like a Monty Python style, deliberately absurd 05 movie.
I think I did mention that, like, the few of it, like, you could make a Monty Python series of sketches or a movie like Life of Brian or Holy Grail with this premise, but the premise is also too narrow for Monty Python because they usually wander all over the place. You know, the jokes aren't really focused on, one topic, but you could definitely do it.
You had a great.
It seems feasible.
You had a great text in the group chat this morning, and it was, "You can't write comedy like you are fastest writing propaganda."
Well, yeah, you can't.
It's a great line, by the way.
I was thinking about that a lot. The other thing is, like, so I made a note in my notepad that only the left can be this overt because the culture is theirs. So when they're this overt, but then I also was watching the movie and, like, the rattling off statistics, things like that. I was like, no, this is even more overt than, like, the tranny propaganda that exists today.
Yeah, like a fascist writing. It's like, the Mussolini poster where it's his face with C, 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 C in the background, which is just Italian for yes. Yeah, that's like what this movie felt like for conservatives.
I think Mussolini would have looked at this movie and said it needed more nuance.
Possibly. Very possibly. Very possibly.
Yeah, but before we go into more like breakdowns of scenes and movies and best of movie and stuff, Daily Wire's making more movies. This is like their first attempt at making a comedy. If they made another comedy, would you guys check it out? Would you think they got any better?
I'd watch it 3 times.
Maybe. I'd consider it, but I'd look at reviews first.
Michael Knowles routinely retweets my tweets about cigars, so I will watch anything they put out.
Fair enough.
That's fair. I don't know. I saw the movie was mediocre, but like if they wanted to make more movies, like I could if they wanted to go like a in the same way every Adam Sandler movie is just an Adam Sandler movie,
Yeah.
If they wanted to do more movies like this and kind of like create their own like subgenre, I could see that working.
Boomer comedies.
Well,
Boomer concept comedy.
A boomer concept genre. I could see that actually working and then building upon that, making it getting better. I could see that being fun.
If they really want to keep making movies, though, they need to did you guys get the ad for their children's TV shows when you first turned it on?
No, I got an ad for an adult comedy Adam Carolla's making.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Adam Carolla and Candace Owens, Adam Carolla, Roseanne Barr, and Patrick Warburton are making some adult comedy on Daily Wire.
Okay, but that's even better. They've got a connection to Patrick Warburton somehow.
Yeah.
They need to make these connections to people who actually know how to make television and movies.
Yeah.
They need to say, okay, I don't know if Patrick Warburton is the guy because he's not exactly nuanced himself. They need to take these connections and find some person who's going to be the full-time Daily Wire movie maker and say, here are the tones we'd like to highlight, but then it needs to be that guy's job to do it. They don't highlight tones. They throw them in your face like you're watching a podcast.
Yeah.
They need to have someone who's actually good at making a movie and writing a movie, write them. And they just say, we want to make fun of trannies. We want to make fun of X, Y, and Z, whatever.
Well, to begin with, the first movie the Daily Wire put out, One Hide Fight, wasn't a movie they made. They just produced it. Like it was already finished and no one would put it in seals. And so they just brought it up and repurposed it. And so it looked like for a while, Daily Wire, I think a lot of the movies to begin with was just repurposed already made movies. And now they're actually making movies. And the tone you could see is very different from like a One Hide Fight to the documentaries to they're making a high fantasy movie and like a Camelot film.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, I guess.
I don't know. I think because Andrew Clavin's involved, and I think he's a good writer. So it might be good.
His cameo was so fucking weird to me, dude. I think they were so weird by his one fucking line of the movie.
The cameos were weird. Like the Ted Cruz cameo was just like, what? He's just there.
I was gonna say the best part about the Ted Cruz cameo is that Ted Cruz didn't make a joke.
He's just the joke was that he was there.
Ted Cruz just asks to sit there and then is off-put by the angry ex-wife and walks away. That's it.
So weird for that. Let's see.
Well, and
What
Ted
are the
Cruz and Michael Knowles did used to have a podcast together, so I was expecting to see Ted Cruz. I just thought I thought there'd be a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
The joke shouldn't just be his appearance. There should actually be a joke there.
Ted Cruz is criticized a lot by Texas sports fans because every game he posts a picture at, the Texas team loses. So, like, that would have been a very easy opportunity to make a joke like that.
Like he should leave or something.
Guys, the seat taken, and then she looks angry, and then it's over.
That actually would have been funny if they did that.
Even Ben Shapiro's cameo was weird as like a referee.
They censored him. They put random bleeps in the movie. They censored
Yeah,
Shapiro.
they put bleeps in the movie.
They didn't bleep anyone else. They didn't bleep any other cuss word. They just bleeped him.
Shapiro's scene in the movie took an odd shot at like high school referees, where it's just his whole cameo is just be like, "Look, I'm only paid $50. I don't care." I was like, okay, odd to hit there.
I thought it was weird Spencer Craven showed up out of nowhere. It wasn't even funny. He actually was playing like a serious referee. He was just there playing a serious referee.
I didn't even recognize him because I don't fucking know what he looks like.
He was the second referee.
No,
he was the referee that wasn't Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, okay, got it. Makes sense.
He was the referee that didn't have a yarmulke.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Did he have a yarmulke in the picture? Fuck me, dude. Does he not realize that the guy with a yarmulke yelling, "You transphobic motherfucker," might leave a bad look? Might be used to win the wrong parts of right-wing Twitter, let's say.
Well,
I have to find that clip now.
Audience is the kind of people that would make that connection.
I didn't even notice, man. It blends really well with his hair, I guess.
I think the
first thing I saw, you're attuned to that. You got evil eyes for that shit.
I actually just look at the back of people's heads to see if they're wearing.
So I chuckled a few times in the movie, but the only time I think I actually laughed was when they found Felix, who has, like Bo says, schizo face, like he has like psychopath face. When he had his pet cat in his hand and all the cat stuff, and the guy was like, "I don't like cats," and he just chucked the cat behind him. That was funny, but in the lingering meowing after that scene was what killed it for me. The lingering meow, this is the cat dying.
I did smile at the meow.
The scene was already funny, but then they added that one little lingo, and that was what got me.
So I think the joke that got me most, and they hit it twice, was first in the like Dylan Mulvaney scene where Felix is saying like, "First day as a female athlete." When she says, "It's my first day as a female athlete. I've already given up on parallel parking twice." That had me rolling. And then later when the daughter wants to become a boy and she says, "Boys are better at everything." She's like, "Well, they're better at basketball." And he's like, "Yeah." And she starts listing off a bunch of sports that they're better at. And then in the middle of it, she goes, "They're better at parking." And then she goes back to sports.
And pickle jaws.
Pickle jaws. But the constantly hammering women can't park throughout the movie got me.
Yeah, that was...
I can't park, so I have no right to criticize that. But still, I was dying.
Yeah, I actually still have trouble parking even nowadays.
Wow.
I park fine compared to other people I know, but yeah,
I'm
it's
from
definitely
Florida. My driver's license test required I park between the cones, and I hit the cones, and the driver's license guy was like, "That's fine, don't worry about it." I never had to learn.
Oh, that part is mandatory in Brazil. If you hit it, you're out. So
that's what they say in Florida. They just don't actually.
No, in Brazil they do. They just fucking.
I also ran a stop sign.
I drove into oncoming traffic during my driver's test.
Dude, what the fuck? Brazil has a way more stringent driver's test.
I misread the stop sign and just turned directly into oncoming traffic. I had to pull off
read, go ahead, douche. You're fucking...
This is Florida. I will go where I please.
The thing is, 70% of the voters in Florida are too old to safely drive. So anyone who makes it more strict is going to get kicked out.
Fair enough.
That's beautiful.
You gotta know your public. The one joke that did actually make me laugh, and I remember it, is like a gag. It's like very brief. It's like I think is it their first game as the Lady Ballers? I forget if it was or if it was their second or whatever. And is it an Asian guy? I don't even remember. Where it just cuts away to him, the crowd's filling, and he says, "This is really good. It's almost like men's basketball." That actually got me.
That was a really good one.
Because with the buildup of like, it's women's basketball, so it's fucking empty because no one gives a shit. And there was one joke which made me smile, but not really laugh before, which was, how do they file out so quickly after the men's game? It's like, I don't know, but somehow they do.
It was like he went and gave a locker room speech, and during the locker room talk, an entire stadium emptied because women were about to start playing basketball.
Yeah, that was actually a decent, it was both a joke in itself and then a setup for this one. This is really good. It's like men's basketball joke later. So I thought that was like, okay, you set up. I like the punchline. Well done, Daily Wire. You did it well. I thought the timing as well was good. It didn't linger much. It was like, okay, just straight punchline. You've already had the setup. That was good.
Another one that was them being a little too on the nose, but got a laugh from me, was when the whole team is being interviewed by the reporter, and she says, well, what would you say to the people that say many women can't play men's sports at this caliber? And he looks back and he says, excuse me, Caitlyn Jenner was an Olympian.
Yeah, that was too overt for me. I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough.
It was really on the nose, but I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use that line.
That was decently funny. I think another bit I did laugh at is when the first basketball guy who at the very end is like, I actually am a woman. He's not a woman. How do you know? And he just cup sex him. I did find that kind of funny. Where it's like, how do you know I'm not a woman? Boom! That was a little funny.
Fair enough.
I've officially gone through all of my list of times I laughed in the movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of,
I'm looking at my notes and I have nothing left.
We still haven't talked about the best actor in the entire film. Oscar-worthy performance from Matt Walsh over here.
Oh my god!
Yeah, actually, I mentioned this before. Genius move, gentlemen. Casting Matt Walsh.
That was incredible.
Did you guys watch Matt Walsh on his show explaining him getting this role?
No.
So they didn't tell him he was going to play that Chris character. They just gave him the script and we're like, how do you like the movie? It was like, oh, this is great. This is funny. And then after they were like, do you want to play one of the roles? And he was like, yeah, of course. And then they told him he was that character. And he said that character was written as the opposite of Matt Walsh.
I actually thought he did a really good job.
He did a great job.
He was by far the best actor there. Mm-hmm. He felt like a proper comedy actor where it's a bit too deadpan and his timing is really good for comedy. I feel it really worked out for him. I was impressed.
Yeah. The one scene where the mom is saying they're not real women, and then he's standing there waiting. You hear the bottle drop to the ground. And it turns, it's like he's covering the girl's ears after hearing that.
That was funny.
Someone asked in the chat if Ben Shapiro was insufferable in the movie. He's in it for a minute less of screen time.
He's barely in it.
He has 5 lines. It's fine.
Whoever Dan is that asked where we got the movie, I paid for it and then I shared my login with the rest of the guys in Thomist Reviews, but I will not share that on this stream.
Well, I did not use that, but I will neither confirm nor deny if I paid Daily Wire or not. So I'll leave it at that. I did find out, however, just coincidentally speaking, it is available in Pirate Bay if you want to.
If you needed to know that.
If you needed to know that.
I will say the one character who didn't get much more screen time than Shapiro, but was insufferable, was the guy who kept trying to hire the trannies as prostitutes.
Yeah.
How much?
Where's the fucking joke in the movie, dog?
That joke was mediocre the first time, and then they made it 57 times.
Yeah.
It felt like what's
It
that
was
movie called?
awkward for me. It wasn't even mediocre. It was like it was like an
What's
like, I saw what they were
And
going
you know
for.
what? It's another one of those things where, if done right, it could have been funny.
Yeah, I could see what it was going for. I was like, oh, that's kind of an awkward execution. Oh
It
well.
seemed reminiscent to me of like Rob Snyder's role in not Billy Madison, Waterboy, where he has the two scenes where he screams, "You can do it all night long." It seemed reminiscent to that kind of character where he just said for make the same joke 3 times throughout the film. You know, that's what Rob Snyder did, and Waterboy's Adam Sandler. That kind of humor. I don't normally just like that kind of humor where the character stood for one line and repeats it throughout the film, but it was cringe in this one. It was very cringe.
Yeah, it was bad.
It didn't
Dan, if
really
you're saddened
work.
by me paying Ben Shapiro, let me let you know I'm far more disappointing than that. I have so many better ways to sadden you. I'm a disappointment of a person.
But man, yeah, that joke was very. Is that guy like it worked for the Daily Wire? Is he like a guy? Because that felt like a cameo.
He must be. I mean, he was intentionally put in to get a cameo.
I'll look it up.
But it was just that constant, how much? And it especially after the first time, you saw it coming every time.
And it also belongs as among other scenes in like a mid 2000s comedy, like ridiculous comedies. Again, Meet the Spartans, because in Meet the Spartans you can have that character and then that character can give chase. In a movie where like you're not that silly all the time, and you're just a little silly and a little over the top, you can't really have that character chasing people down the street. It's just weird. It's like I just went like, what the fuck is going on? Is he like trying to rape them now? Like, what the fuck? Because he like in the first scene, they run off and he runs with them. It's like, what? I went like, what the fuck?
I could be wrong, but I think that was Seth Dillon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Babylon Bee guy.
Hold on, I'm looking him up.
With a lot of makeup.
No,
Seth
that was
Dillon was the coach. Was the other coach?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can't find him then. Yeah, I can't tell who the cast
but
is.
Yeah, that character felt really. It would have worked better as a joke if he like looks disappointed, like when they like run away, because like a real I guess tranny prostitute purchaser would.
You
looks like kind of awkward and
know.
weird and kind of skulks off instead of like giving chase. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, this is why I wanted. This is why I wanted you on both. I wanted you to give the Brazilian account of trans culture.
Aside from occasionally seeing one when I'm driving at night, I am not involved in
when
that
you want to
culture.
hunt, right? You want to hunt.
No, we will not. No, I will not be defamed in this podcast.
We're 33 minutes in. Connor is watching a football game. Connor, what's the score?
The score of the FSU game is 0-0 because we have a child playing at quarterback. But we're in the red zone. Here it comes. And then Michigan, Iowa is 10-0. So that, Dan there in the comments asked about Billy Ray Brandt, which is the journalist, that TikToker who was playing the journalist. I actually think she as an actress was good. I think her character was very poorly written.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she as an actress did it. I think she was arguably the best actress one of the better actors of any kind in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she played her role very well. Her role was just terrible.
Yeah. I found the movie BoomerCon cringe, Facebook wine ant humor, whatever. The weird dominatrix tends that like character took with Sammy Boyd. I don't know why. That was just out of nowhere and very odd.
It was very uncomfortable. It was like I said earlier, like if you're gonna be this on the nose, we should have family values, and then for no reason she's a dominatrix. I was like, that was not necessary.
Yeah, and
it wasn't so funny.
Weird. Like, you can make so many different journalist jokes. that you should kind of stick with that motif for the character. And like the first mistake was making her self-aware, because then like the jokes don't really work. They have to be overt. She basically has to say we're pieces of shit, and that's the joke.
I also think the worst joke in the movie came from her. And it was the one where she says, "Put a baby in me," and he says no, and she says, "I don't need another abortion this year." That could have been funny, despite the fact that it was terrible. But it really felt like they were like, "This is a conservative movie. We need to make a comment about abortion," so they just shoved it into a random scene.
Very awkward and weird to me.
Like it was just odd.
Yeah.
I thought that was the worst joke in the movie, and honestly, it's not because it was awful, because it could have been very funny. But it was every joke they made could have been funny. 3-0, go Knowles!
Let's go, baby.
Wait, what happened?
The child quarterback couldn't finish through, so they kicked a field goal.
Oh, shit. Okay.
In shocking news, the third string quarterback is not leading an electric offense.
Oh, man. That's well, tough luck, I guess.
But hey, as long as defense holds up, baby, we're going to the playoffs.
Well, I'm certainly rooting for the underdog here.
I don't know who that is.
Well, I don't know either right now, but whoever it is, I'm certainly rooting for them.
Yeah, I gotta say it was I watched it today at work. Because I had the day sitting by the equipment and trying to fix it, so I just kind of put it on and watched as I was fixing the equipment. And I based on the trailer, I expected it to be so much worse. That I was pleasantly surprised how much I've seen worse. Pleasantly surprised because from the trailer I expected the cringiest minion Facebook ant meme level humor. And it was moments where I'm like, this isn't actually that bad. Like, I mean, someone had jokes. My mom could have watched this movie. She wouldn't be able to sit through it. She couldn't handle some of these jokes, which is just very weird. But it's
she couldn't handle.
No. My mom is the most prudest person on the planet. She can't handle if a movie curses more than 3 times, she turns it off.
Well, they bleeped it, so At least
they only bleeped Ben Shapiro.
I don't know why that bugs me so much. He curses on the show. Everyone knows he curses. Why the fuck are you still bleeping it? I get it on the podcast. I get it on other interviews. But on the fucking movie?
And the other thing, too, is like, if they were going to pretend that they were bleeping it so it could still be a family-friendly movie, fine, except you have a dominatrix in the movie. This was never going for the family-friendly sitting around the fire.
Not only that, it's because it kind of breaks your immersion from the movie. Like, it's not diegetic. It's like you go like, wait, what? There's bleeps. And the funnier joke is instead of he swears twice, he's a transphobic motherfucker and like something else. So it's like 2 bleeps or 3. Like, the funnier joke is that he goes on like a 10-15 second tirade and you bleep the whole thing. And it turns out someone is like holding a button on the announcement system or whatever it is for the stadium. Like, that's a funnier joke and it's diegetic. So there's something to that. But like just randomly bleeping twice for just Ben Shapiro is so weird.
Okay.
Yeah, the yarmulke must be protected from cursing exposure. Yeah, it's because he was wearing the magic yarmulke.
Well, and you know what? That bleep was really indicative of everything in the movie, where it was a lot of things that were just off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to see him make more comedies because I like 05 humor. I like the Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, Kevin James style, Will Ferrell style movie. I think it was really funny. Like Zoolander, this movie felt like Zoolander, where it was absurd most of the time. So I want to see him make more movies. I just want them to get better at it. I really hope they get better at it and make more films. Because I think this has a proof of concept. It's not terrible. But if they make another film next year, it's way better. I'd be happy.
I will pay for a monthly membership every time they make one of these movies and continue encouraging them to do it.
I might join you. I might join you on that because, and I mean, here's a weird question. This actually ranks in the top 5 movies I've seen this year because there have been no good movies this year.
It does definitely not rank in the top 5 movies
I
I've
can't
seen
name-
this year.
I can't new movies.
Yeah, I would say I think it's the only new movie I've seen this year.
Killer's really good. I highly
I've seen
recommend
movies
Haven't
that
seen
were
that yet.
new to me.
Yeah,
But
I
I don't
watched
think I've
Nick
seen any other new movies this year.
I can't. I'm trying to think of like new movies I saw this year and like new releases that were good.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Well,
think.
even when I was at the Mises Institute this summer, a bunch of the guys went to see the Barbie Oppenheimer double feature, and I
Barbie's
didn't
up
go
there.
do that either.
I
Barbie's
have
number
not
1.
watched Barbie. I have not watched Oppenheimer.
Listen,
I
Barbie
will
is the
never
best
watch
movie of
either
the year.
of them.
You won't watch the Ken movie?
I won't.
I'm literally in it.
Yeah, but Caleb, I
Yeah,
talked
we
to you the
know.
other day. It's the same reason I don't listen to your podcast.
True. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of many movies this year that were good. So this kind of ranks up there by default.
I
It was
can
the number
literally
one
think-
new movie I've seen this year.
Yeah, I guess it's the number 2 for me because I saw The Killer and The Killer is really good. So I can't think of any other new release I've seen this year. At least
Dan,
off
I
the
just
top
saw
of
your
my head.
comment. We already hit on Ted Cruz. The answer is no. His cameo wasn't funny.
It's like 10 seconds and there isn't really
It's
a joke.
he's literally just there. There isn't even a joke.
Or at
Yeah,
least not
apparently-
one detectable by us mere mortals.
Apparently, he really wants to be an actor. Ted Cruz apparently they born into this in an interview. There were talks of Ted Cruz apparently loves movies and loves cinema and wanted to be an actor. And so there was talk of flying him to England and putting him in a bunch of makeup and sneaking him into the the Camelot movie they're doing in a bunch of makeup. Which
So
that would be funny. This Ted Cruz in a bunch of Hollywood makeup pretending to be an ogre or something. It'd be hilarious.
I may need to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz is Stephen Kinsella's neighbor. Which I think is the weirdest pairing of all
What
time.
a small world, man.
That is wild.
I
I
know
don't
Oh,
know.
I would give the world to watch Stephen Kinsella and Ted Cruz talk.
That's got to be the weirdest block party ever.
I know someone at the Mises Institute event in St. Petersburg last year told me they were Ted Cruz's neighbor. And I'm pretty sure it was Stephen
it was
Kinsella.
Kinsella.
Of all the people to be, of all the poor Ted. Poor
Possibly
Ted.
the most annoying guy at the Mises Institute. Certainly the most annoying guy on Twitter from the Mises Institute.
That's, mhm.
Holy
He's
shit.
actually, he was pretty pleasant in person.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
I would say we just sat, chatted, he talked about Ted Cruz, and then we went on our day. Which was honestly one of the more normal conversations I have at Mises Institute events.
Fair enough. But man, that is certainly a thing. Interesting. Where were we before the Ted Cruz digression?
I don't know.
No fucking clue, man. Oh, we were talking about Camelot or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
High
know.
fantasy movie?
Oh, they are making that new Snow White movie, which I will
Which
certainly be
I'm
watching. for
I'm
obvious
definitely gonna watch.
reasons.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be seeing that for probably the same reasons.
Yeah,
Caleb, I
that's-
was there first.
You already no, it doesn't matter.
I should just do a shot-for-shot remake of like Disney's animated Snow White, and do just change it enough so that Disney can't fucking copyright them. That would be really funny.
Just edit Brett Cooper's face over Snow White.
Yeah, deepfake it. Use AI to like superimpose Brett Cooper's face and like put Michael Knowles on all the 7 dwarves. Put Matt Walsh as the hunter or whatever, and just do that. That'd be
Vince-
really funny.
Vince
And they do
Shapiro
the
as
voice
Evil
acting
Queen.
as well.
Vince
For
Shapiro
the
as Evil Queen
listeners
would be
who
great.
don't know, I asked out and was shot down by Brett Cooper last spring.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh.
that.
I
It's
met
never
her
not
in
funny.
person at a Mises Institute event. She came by the booth. She was like, "Oh, I love the Mises Institute." And I couldn't totally tell it was Brett Cooper, so I was like, "You look familiar. Have you been to any of our events?" And she was like, "No." I was like, "What's your name? I don't know. I feel like I know you from something." She goes, "I'm Brett Cooper." I was like, oh, we have to get a photo with you for that thing. And I took a photo with her for the Mises Institute social media. As she was going away, she was like, can I enter to win your silver coin raffle? I was like, yeah, sure. And she's scanning it. And I go, she goes, I can't get the link to work. I go, Brett, that's fine. Give me your number and I'll make it work. Brett Cooper looks at me and goes, nice try. And then walks away.
That was a nice try.
That was a nice try. I respect that.
Yeah, it's very respectable.
Damn.
Smooth.
She was with the person who was running the entire conference. And the next day she came by and said, you guys didn't offer me one of Parabeelin's books. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And she goes, well, I know why you did it. It's because I was with Brett Cooper. And I was like, oh, I would have done that again. I'm sorry. Like, I'm really not sorry.
Wow.
Fair enough. Well, found out new lore about Connor that I didn't know before.
Connor's got some cool lore. Okay.
If you need lore about being rejected by women, boy, do I have a list.
No, it's just about Brett Cooper. That's enough for me, at least. I'm sated for now. No new lore required.
Okay, well, we're at 45 minutes. Let's do final thoughts, and then we'll kind of whiff until it's time to close. Boats, final thoughts on the film. Would you want to see more? Would you want to see a sequel? What are your final thoughts?
Well, I think most importantly, would I recommend it to someone if we're looking for something to see? My answer is a no. Go watch Zoolander if you're looking for a comedy, or is it Happy Gilmore, like the Adam Sandler golf one?
That's the best Adam Sandler
something
film.
like that. Yeah, definitely is, dude. And God knows there aren't many good ones.
I would reject that.
It's
Every
Happy
Adam Sandler
Gilmore
film
and
is
Punch
incredible.
Drunk Love, and that's about it.
Billy Madison, Big Daddy.
No. Anyway, no, definitely no.
We're going to talk about that later.
Anyway,
Click is the best fucking Adam Sandler film. Okay,
if you want to watch a 2005 straight to DVD comedies, there are better 2005 straight to DVD comedies available. If you just want to watch a good movie, The Killer just came out. I think it's on Netflix, so you can watch it. David Fincher, highly recommend it. Anyway, I guess those are my final thoughts. And it's mediocre and all. It's not bad. They can do better. I hope they improve. I guess that would be my final thought then. I want to end on a positive note. That
is my hope as well. I really hope they improve and do better. So I want to see more comedies that, like, there was enough here where I'm like, there's a movie that could be made and this style that is funny, So I'm hoping they try again. Connor, final thoughts.
My final thoughts, would I watch it again? Yes, at least 2 more times. Would I want there to be a follow-up or a sequel or another movie? Yes, and I'll watch that at least 3
God,
times.
no. Please, no.
Would I recommend it to a friend? Absolutely not.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, at least we agree on that.
So, no, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else. However, I'll be watching it at least 3 times.
Damn.
Make of that what you will.
I might watch the newscaster scenes a few more times because I think the Brett Cooper, Michael Nose bits are actually funny.
Oh, by far, they were hilarious.
The funniest bits of the film. Besides
Brett Cooper saying that was her slave name had me rolling, and that did it.
Again, it was Noel's reaction for me. It wasn't his last name. It was just a deadpan at the camera on the right. And then cut. That was good.
You are so white. That was
you are so white.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna probably watch it with my dad. He'll love it. He'll talk about it for weeks. He'll reference it for months. But yeah, I don't know. It was mediocre. I want to see him make more movies. I want to see him try more comedies. Because I thought there haven't been any good comedies since Zoolander 2. I can't name a good comedy since. Yeah, I can't name a good comedy since Zoolander 2.
I think they should do a more serious movies, because if they're going to be this overt, have you guys seen Nefarious? I don't know if it released this year or last
I've seen
year.
some of it.
I have
actu-
heard great things, but I have not seen it.
It's until like the last 5 to 7 minutes. It's like the movie should have ended like 5 minutes before it does, because then it's just like, I guess I'll spoil it. It's in it slightly. It's like it's literally an interview with Glenn Beck, but like diegetically, like it's in the movie, but it's just an interview with Glenn Beck, and then it's like a horror movie schlock ending. It's like awful. But
Also-
before that, it's really good, and like it's completely it's the most overt movie you could possibly make, and it's actually good, and it's basically just dialogue, and it's good. I highly
Also,
recommend
if
it.
they want to be totally over the top, they should make a couple movies that aren't political. Like, just kind of get your
Yes.
toe in the water and learn how to make a movie.
Yes, I agree.
Make a very funny movie that doesn't push trans, because they're no more enjoyable than the tranny propaganda. Maybe slightly more enjoyable, but like just make a movie that isn't political. 'Cause that's what their audience actually wants.
Yeah, they want a break. They don't want great, my entertainment is also in this current bullshit that my country is involved in. Great.
But
It's like, dude, I already watch your show when we talk about how gender ideology is retarded. Can we please have a movie that doesn't talk about how gender ideology is retarded?
just make a movie about basketball players winning a basketball tournament, and gender ideology doesn't even have to be part of it. Just make a dumb movie.
Yeah, you can make one trans joke. You can make like one trans joke, and that'd be fine.
What was it? What's that Dodgeball film with Vince Vaughn?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Dodgeball.
Oh, is it really just
Just
called
Dodgeball?
Dodgeball?
Yes, that's what it's called.
Wow, I just
Yeah. Holy shit, it is.
I
Just look
okay,
it
I
up.
gotta
Bulge
reference
gets a pass because he's Brazilian, but come on, Caleb.
my uncle has done the same thing. My uncle on the job site turned to my dad and said, "Hey, brother, what's that Tom Hanks film with Forrest Gump in it?"
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
I've done the same thing now. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I like One Hide Fight. I like the documentaries they make. You know, like every time Data Wire puts out a new movie, I sign up and watch it normally. And I probably will continue that process for the new for anything new they make. But I feel like if they brought in like a 2005 comedy guy, like they brought in Adam Sandler, they brought in Kevin James, or they brought in Rob Schneider. Rob
Schneider
exactly.
just converted to Catholicism. He's always complaining. Go grab Rob Schneider. He's right there.
Exactly. If Rob Schneider joined the Daily Wire and just started producing and directing movies and brought in with people with them, they could probably make some really good comedies, you know?
Rob Schneider has been on the Tom Woods show. I'm sure he'd be willing to do this.
Mm-hmm. True.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. So it's grab people who know how to make shit and hire them, produce them, learn from them, and then if you really want to direct your movie because you like making movies, like fine. It's like because this is really again we mentioned this in the beginning. It's kind of a student film. It feels like a couple of people making movies with their buddies, and that I respect that. I'd buy that if you have money to make movies with your buddies. Awesome, but they're probably not going to be very good, which is the case in this. It's kind of it's very mediocre. Yeah. But B, you can improve. So actually hire people who know how to make movies and learn from them.
Apparently, they wrote this movie, and the script for this film was written in the course of 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
So I mean, 2 weeks, not bad. Not bad.
I've written worse in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I published it probably. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's all there is to say about the film. Oh, besides the weird ending where he says when Matt Walsh and Candace Owens are on a call, and he says, "Daddy solves it as a problem." Like, are they setting up a Matt Walsh undercover hippie cinematic universe? Because I'd probably watch it, but it's just weird.
I think the only way to get Matt Walsh to film it was that at the end, if he got to take off the wig and say it was a joke, because even though he knew it was a joke, he couldn't do it.
Yeah. I see that.
swear the only thing I thought when I saw Candace Owens was like, when was this filmed and were her and Shapiro fucking fighting at the time? That's the only. Was he behind the camera seething, just grinding his teeth at that scene? That they had to pay her for those 30
That is
seconds.
that's a whole tangent I would love to go down. Actually, it's the whole Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens beef. It's been
I'm
weird.
not even accompanying it, but it was so weird. I mean, you work for this guy, right? Or at least you both work for the same guy, and he's higher up because he's the same religion as the other guy, at least. And you're not. You're on the outs. You're on the out club. You're on.
I could be wrong, but I think Jeremy Bowen's the CEO, and he's Baptist.
Oh, really? I thought he was Jewish.
Nope, Baptist.
Oh, okay.
Everyone assumes he's Jewish, and I find that odd, even though he's a Baptist. The only Jew at Daily Wire is Shapiro. There's a third guy, Caleb something, but I don't know what he is or who he is.
Jeremy Boring once tweeted, "I'm about as Christian as it's possible to be." Whatever that means.
That means he's Baptist, which means he's the only one. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I just looked up and Google is Jeremy Boring Jewish, and Google just highlighted a phrase. I am not Jewish. You know what, Fire? It just highlighted this phrase in the middle of the text. I'm not reading the rest of it. So, you know what? I believe you, Google.
He gets asked that so often that he has multiple interviews just saying, "No, I'm not Jewish."
I don't know where I got that impression.
The impression is literally just he's friends with Ben Shapiro, and you don't know
Yeah,
his
to be
religion.
fair,
Jew by association.
You know, Ben Shapiro is the face of Daily Wire since, like, you know, the beginning.
Mhm.
So you're like, well, that guy is always wearing a little hat. I assume the guy above him is also wearing a little hat. So just maybe I couldn't see it. It's so tiny.
Okay. Well, it's been a lot of fun, guys. Let's do plugs and we'll wrap it up. Bode, where can people find you?
Well, I guess occasionally I'm on Twitter at available username, but that's, you know, only very occasionally. Every now and then I'll pop in.
Connor, where can people find you at?
My Twitter is Natural Authority with no Y at the end because that didn't fit. You can pull up Connor Mortel at Mises.org and find some of the stuff I've written. Otherwise, I'm not much anywhere. So find me on Twitter, and my Twitter is not worth following.
Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. I have nothing planned for the future. Hopefully, one day, maybe in the next 5 years, Ian and Bodes will do another episode of the.
I'll try to get it
Music
before
Knowledge.
Christmas. I swear. I got a physical copy now. I can read it at my leisure.
One day, the episode will return. Maybe not.
We'll see.
I might have Haz back on again for an episode of the Magisterium or the Distributism.
That'd
If
be
you're
fun.
looking for guests on things, I'm unemployed for the next month.
I realized actually, Kobe of the Pious, the Pig, and the Podcast will be coming on sooner or later to do an explaining like I'm 5 of the Liturgy of the Hours. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
I'd love to know what it is because I have a liturgy of the hours from my granddad. So I'd love to know what it actually is.
It's awesome. Anyone listening should give it a shot and should listen to that episode. I started doing it this year by accident just because the church I go to does it right before Mass. So I just started going. It's super cool. Listen to that episode when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to set it up with him, and then I'm still calling like I find something to record on. We might just read some more Belloc. That's always fun.
That's
just
always
Belloc reading. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. We are on Twitter and we are on TikTok. And the TikTok is
TikTok.
Yes, we are on TikTok. Both you are on TikTok specifically.
I'm about to kill myself live.
Listen, I make edits and I make Ryan Gosling memes and post them on the Thomist reviews. So
to be fair, and I shouldn't draw this out more, but your edits actually are awesome. I hate that they're on TikTok, but they are really cool.
They get us subscribers, man. That's just what it is.
Good to know.
They are really cool.
I am not on TikTok and will never.
You actually are,
Bodes.
Bodes, I've clipped several scenes from your Doc Maritans episodes and clipped them and posted them on TikTok. And they actually they're quite popular.
That's even funnier. I'm somewhat popular on a platform I will never, ever, ever use or touch.
Beautiful, isn't it?
I view it as fundamentally demonic. I will never be there.
That's great.
Demon's a copy of my voice. Damnation be upon you for that, Caleb.
Okay, but on the bright side, look at the face they know you has on the screen.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, it's a great face. It's a beautiful,
It really
beautiful
is.
face.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on. Everyone have a good night.